Do you have emergency supply kits in your car? Some things you just absolutely have to have, and you have to have something to start a fire with, you have to have something to open the cans with, something to keep you warm, all of those basic things. You should have first aid supplies. Anything is better than nothing. A simple garbage bag. I find that these are really effective. These are great for everything, not only keeping or putting trash in, but if you got to pack stuff up and go in a hurry, you can throw things in here. You can put your bedding in here and keep it dry. You can pull it off and punch a hole in the top and make a parka out of it to keep the rain off of you. There's all kinds of uses for these things. And then I really like, this is my old guy's rule hat, but look at this thing, which can put on the bill of your hat and keep your hands free and have plenty of light. And so these are available too. And they say that lasts 100,000 hours. So if you forget and leave it on overnight, it's probably not a problem. And then these things are the greatest. You can crank these. It's got a radio. It has a cell phone charger. It's got flashing lights. It's got a siren. And these are about $20. And it's got a compass. So if you crank this, they say for 1 minute, it gives you about 30 minutes of light. And you can tune it, change it so that it's only one single light, so it uses less power. So if you're gonna, not need a lot of light, but just need a little comfort, then you can just run it that way and it lasts a whole lot longer. Some of the other things, I always like to carry a knife. This hangs on my keys, but there are alternatives to that. The other thing is really nice is I think this is a P38. So you can open cans. You've got your canned goods, you got your emergency supplies, you don't have a big can opener or electric to run it, you can open cans with this real easily. So you can buy them at surplus stores. And this is a handy little device here too. It looks like a key when it's hanging on there, it really doesn't get in the way. It's got 2 screwdrivers on it, it's got a knife. You should also pack comfortable walking shoes, because if you have to take off, your car doesn't work and you're going to have to put everything that you've got on your back. You don't want to be hiking in shoes that are not comfortable. And a change of socks or a change of underwear that'll extend your comfort zone for maybe a couple more days would be real nice to have too. You should have it in a pack, a bag like this, in the trunk of your car, next to your desk, wherever you work, or at school, in your locker, a pack like this, so that if you're stuck right there, we're going to talk in a minute about sheltering in place. If you're stuck, you've got some comforts. And if you have to leave, you can throw it on your shoulder and take off. Give this kind of stuff as gifts. This is one you can buy. You can buy these, I would say, at the large department stores. They cost less than $20. And they are food and water and a blanket, flashlight, a little bit of medical supplies for 3 days for one person. You can find them on the internet everywhere. Sheltering in place. This is another reason you want emergency preparedness stuff with you at school, at work, or at home. You may be told by the authorities that the safest place for you to be is where you're at. Shelter in place. Select an interior room if possible, with a toilet and water if possible, and a phone if possible. If you're going to have a large group, make sure the room's big enough to accommodate all the people that you have, your family and loved ones or your co-workers. Have a disaster supply kit ready. Kids like to have things to do, so when you make an emergency preparedness pack, include hard candy, something that'll last a long time, not only last a long time in your mouth, but store for a long time. And have some books, some things appropriate for the people that might be involved, something to do, or a tabletop game. Sterno, great for keeping things warm and cooking if you have to, 2.5 hours for each can. If you shop wisely, you can buy them for 50 cents a piece. And they keep indefinitely. So you can go to camping supplies and emergency supply locations and buy this type of deal for about $20. It includes the bucket, the seat, some toilet paper, some heavy liners, and you want to have heavy liners, and some chemicals that you can drop in there to keep the smell down. But in preparation for an emergency, this is something that you want to have at home. Think about packing stuff you normally eat. 2 good reasons. First of all, if you have to use them, you won't mind using them. And secondly, when it's time to rotate them, you won't just throw them away, you'll use them. And that's what you need to do, is rotate. Remember special needs. If you've got pets, you want to be able to provide for them. So if you're going to set aside a week's worth of food for yourself, why think of your pets as well? If you take medication and you rely on it, then you should start seeing some way to get a little ahead in your medication. Which reminds me, you should encourage your neighbors and family and friends to get prepared, because if you're prepared and they're not, they're going to come and mooch off you. And you'll help them. So your 1 week's supply will all of a sudden only be 1 day's supply. So really encourage people to do it. When you put your shopping list together, you know, if you want to, buy a couple extra things every time you go to the market and start putting it into your pack if you don't want to spend a lot of money in preparation for this. When my wife put this all together, including the packs, I think we spent about $300 for all of these supplies. This really is my family's emergency supplies for more than 72 hours, but that's what we think of it.